Okay, we're gonna get started. I assume you guys want the lights off again. See a little bit better, right? All right, so today's class is gonna be just about the tools that are available to you on 21 Online. And as we go in to 21 Online and log in, just know that there's a lot there. And so don't let that overwhelm you or have you feel like, oh, there's so much. What I'm going to do is go through and we're just going to hit on kind of the most important pieces. So there's a lot of stuff in here and I'll briefly hit on a few things, but we'll spend a little bit more time on a few of the other things that are on 21 Online and really just the stuff that you're going to want to know about. But like I said, I will point out a few other things that may be helpful somewhere along the way, but for the most part, you're probably not going to use a lot of the stuff that is on here, okay? All right, so to log in, you're just going to go to 21online.com, which you can see up here. So 21online.com. Once you get to here, you're going to click sign in, and you should have received from Mikkel a username and password. And it's typically going to be your first name dot last name at century21.com is your username, even though that's not really an email address that you'll use. That's usually what your login information is going to be. So first name dot last name at century21.com. Once you log in, it's going to land you here on the dashboard. But the very first time that you ever log into it, it's going to ask you some questions. It's going to have you go through kind of a survey type of a thing. And as you go through and answer the questions in the survey is how it's going to then build what your dashboard is going to serve up to you. And so what I mean by that is based on, it'll ask you kind of where your focus is and some of those things. And then the idea of that being is on these action paths up here and just here on your dashboard for it to offer up, based on the stuff you said you were interested in, here's the information that's going to end up on your dashboard. But for me, I don't usually end up doing a whole lot on the dashboard. And so probably don't have to stress too much about that, I guess is what I'm saying. All right. Oh, it sounds like they may be having some audio issues.
So I did that and I was thinking I had more choices than the dashboard was allowing me.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking, okay, I need to really look hard and pick one less.
Say work hard on what?
My choices because I had more choices than they were allowing.
Oh.
So I'm thinking, okay, I need
gotcha.
I need to take something out.
Okay. All right, good. Well, so yes, but like I say, I wouldn't worry too much about it. So okay. So it sounds like, Christopher, maybe it's just your audio. If everybody else is having audio issues, either unmute or throw something in the chat box to let me know. Let me turn this up because if they do unmute, we won't hear them. All right. So we're going to just keep going then. So I'm going to assume that it's a technical issue on your end, Christopher, but if everybody else is having an issue hearing, let me know. All right, so what we're going to do then is typically once you get into 21 Online, from there you can just click on this menu up here is typically what I do. But if you know what you're looking for, you can always just come and type it in on this search bar right here as well, if you know what you're looking for. Very rare that I do that because I just have found that a lot of times I'll type what I'm looking for and it still brings up a ton of choices. So for me personally, the way I access it when I come into 21 Online is I click on menu over here on the right side and then go down here to productivity hub. Okay. And so I would say for me, honestly, probably 99% of the time when I come into 21 Online, I immediately come over here to menu. I go down to productivity hub and just click on it. Once you do that, once you click on the menu and then productivity hub, that's going to bring up all of the resources that we have available for us. So really everything for the most part, like I said, 99, maybe 95%, but 99% of the stuff that you're going to need on 21 Online that you're going to go here for is contained within this productivity hub. So, so once you get there, you're going to land on it. Now, I've got a lot more things showing than what you're going to have because I'm a manager in the company. I have admin access, and so I have all kinds of stuff that you guys probably are not gonna have. So don't worry too much about that. The main thing is, I'm gonna just run through and talk about the ones that you're gonna probably want to be familiar with and use along the way. So, all right. And we're just gonna do it in from top to bottom order here. So the first one is this award rankings, okay? And you're not gonna use this a lot, but just if you're ever wanting to show and or to see where you fit in terms of your production, or where we as a company, our production is, this is where you would do it. So award rankings. So I'm going to just click on this, see where you stand right here. And what that's going to do is this is going to load for us to take a look at where we are in terms of the awards. So how do we stand against our competition? So hopefully this is there. Now, so the options that we have available is I can take a look at either nationally where we sit or in the state how you sit. So I'm just going to do it for the sake of, I'm always curious of as a company or as an office where we're at. So I'm going to do it national, and I'm going to say I want it to sort by offices, and then let's do it by well, let's do it by units. So through July of 2022. So just as of a month ago, and then I'm going to just click on view report. So you can see I could do top 50 or top 100. We'll change it to 50 because I don't care about the others. Click view report. And what that's going to do is that's going to bring up and show you. So in terms of the number of units that we have done, we're the #2 office in terms of units. Okay. I don't like that. So I'm going to switch it to adjusted gross commission income. Now let's do view report. An hour first, there we go. So if we change it to commission, which really that's what matters. It doesn't matter how many houses you sell, it's how much money you make, right? So where it matters, we are the #1 company, and look at how far ahead we are of that #2. In terms of adjusted gross commission incomes, is $22 million is what we have earned halfway through the year. So, and then 15 almost is our #2 competitor. So we're way ahead in terms of money. So what would you use this?
To invite other agents to belong to the.
Okay, good, but that doesn't help you much with money.
Doing great.
Yeah, I would use it kind of as like advertisement almost, like we're the top office. and
Yeah, good.
Kind of use that.
And then you can compare, if you're in the second place, you can see what the first place is doing, so you can be better.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And so if you're going out to meet with a seller, this would be a good thing to use with them of, you know, if they were asking, why should I choose you? Why should we choose Century 21? We're #1. And this is national rankings, but just so you know, we are #1 in the whole world for Century 21 too. This office that we're in right now, this Union Park office, is the #1 office in the whole Century 21 system in the whole world. This is the best office. So that's where you would want to use this, is a way to just go in on a listing presentation and say, let me show you where we're at. And our next competitor is not even close to where we are. We know how to get homes sold, right? All right. So what if you wanted to look at just like individual producers where you're at? So the same thing, you could just switch it to that and say individually, where are you going to sit? And then we would pull this up and see, okay, so the #1 agent that's an individual producer in Century 21 system is this Dania Perry with Jim White and Associates in Treasure Island, Florida, and she's made $3 million through July.
Wow.
So she's probably going to make $5 or $6 million. And so anyway, part of this, like, you're probably never going to print this off, but this could be something good to go in and be like,
Can you show you that?
yeah, we could do just Utah. So if we go here and say, I want to see by the state, and then go down and pull up,
Oh, that's national.
So just.
yeah, that was national, but for
Right.
Utah individual,
Before you move on,
yes,
how come, what's his name, the one that went to the summit last
Brian
time?
Burnett.
Isn't he?
So he's going to show up under the team. So he
Oh,
would be as a
okay,
team.
so
So
that's
if I
just-
look under team,
Oh, okay.
well, team actually is elite team, which is Dave Parker, which is 2.8 million, and Brian Burnett's 2.4.
So they are in close competition.
Yep.
So that lady that you show was individual, just by herself.
Yeah, that's just her, no team, which is amazing. But probably with her down there where she's at in Florida, she's probably selling 10, 15, $20 million houses. And so,
Oh,
in fact, actually, let's do that real quick. Let's switch it just for fun. Let's go to national, individual, and look at number of units sold. See, in terms of the number of units sold, it's I don't even remember what that lady's name was, but she's probably not even anywhere close in the number of units. But in terms of units sold through July, this Edna Kimball in Oklahoma, 162 units sold through July. So that's pretty good, right? All right.
So then you're right. So she could be selling like expensive real estate, and that's why she's so high.
Yeah, my guess on this is she sells, and who knows, that she may have sold $100 million house, But I'm not complaining. Okay. All right, so that's the awards ranking stuff that you can use as part of the system. So I'm gonna come back here. So that's awards rankings, and just like, it's kind of fun too, actually, just to go in and look at, well, maybe as an individual or a team or whatever, to go in and look at, okay, where do I sit? And have I made it into the top 100 in the state, or, and then once you do that, then you can start to say, okay, now nationally, how am I ranking?
So we want to.
That's right. All right, next one then is Brand Studio. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but under Brand Studio, as I pull this up, Brand Studio is going to be where you can go in and get logos. If you're wanting to make flyers, that type of stuff, this is where you would go in to do it. So when you get a listing and you're wanting to go out and make a flyer for the house or whatever, you'll go into Brand Studio. And then from here, you can see the different options. There's just general templates, single property templates, or multi-property templates. So depending on what you're doing, which most of the time it's going to be the residential single property templates.
Yeah, sweet. I can never see it inside, so.
You what?
So I'm gonna interrupt.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're good. I just thought you didn't know how to open the door. I didn't know it was you. I just saw somebody standing there. Usually people start, I know, people start pulling on it. I'm like, don't break the door. So, anyway, all right. So this under Brand Studio is where you would come in to create flyers, and then also if you're wanting to get logos. So if you're wanting to get the Century 21 logo to use on any type of advertising that you're going to do, this is where you would come in to do it. And so I'll just click on real quick here, my logos. And when I click on that, it's just going to bring up all the different options that you have available. And so from here up at the top, you could decide, the color type that you want to use, the brand, which we would want residential probably. But just so you know that you have it available, if for some reason you were wanting the Fine Homes and Estates, which is going to be upper end properties, you'd get, this is where you would go to get that logo. And if you're doing a farm or a ranch, there's a logo for that. So typically, you're just going to want to come click on the residential, and you'll just decide which of these logos you want to use. Click on it to download. Okay. All right, so that's Brand Studio. That's what's available under Brand Studio. The next one is, we're not going to spend any time on this, so I'm just going to talk to you about it. There are 3 things that are showing on 21online, 21online.com that will be gone at the end of the year. So I would say just don't even bother doing anything with them. But one of them was Business Builder. One of the things that I liked Business Builder for was to make flyers. It was really easy to do that. But as I said, that's going away at the end of the year. So I probably.
How come?
Because they pay a lot of money for it. And since we got the Moxie system, Moxie Works, which we'll talk about briefly. Since we got the Moxie Works, that's replacing this. So just no sense spending the money on it. Next thing.
Sorry, which one is easier to work with?
I don't want to tell you because it's going away. Yeah, Business Builder is probably the easiest one, but it's going away. So, but the good news is, as it's going away, we are going to be ramping up the Moxie Impress. So that's where you'll go to do flyers. But in the meantime, I would say, either under brand studios where I would go for now, or you could go in and do it in Business Builder. It's still pretty simple, but like I said, I'm not gonna teach you because it's just gonna go away, so. All right, next is business cards. If you want to order business cards, this is where you can come to do it. One of the things I always recommend though is compare the prices of this business cards through Express Docs with like a Vista print or something like that. Because I've seen where sometimes the price is higher or lower on each one, so just kind of check it. It's one of the things I would say. Let's see, I'm gonna skip over a bunch of this stuff because you either don't have it or it doesn't matter. Like, for example, this global referral network, we have our own relocation department. Some of the smaller Century 21 offices don't, and they would use this, but we have our own relocation, so you just run through there. Let's see, promotional stuff, if you want to go buy Century 21 backpack, shirts, stuff like that, this is where you would do it. Next one is Century 21 University. So I do want to touch on this one real quick. Okay, Century 21 University has, the last time I checked, which it's been a while since I checked this, so I probably should do it again just so that you guys would know. But the last time I went and checked, there were over 500 classes available that you could take at Century 21 University. And so typically what I recommend is, if it'll load here, is that you go into Century 21 University, and then from here, there's a few different things along the side here you could kind of go off of, meaning if you were looking for training on MoxieWorks, you could just come click on that. Typically though, you're going to just come in here and click on this learning library search, which if I click on learning library, why is this being so slow today?
So,
that-
Rose, if I want to access like the coaching course that George has done in the past, is this available in here?
No. Yeah, so great question. In case, just for you guys that are on Zoom, if you didn't hear, Luz was asking if she wants to access some of our company trainings that we've done, would they be on the Century 21 University? And no, all of the classes that we do that way, we house on our YouTube channel. So if you want to find anything that we've done, and when I say anything, it's not everything, but anything George does or John, or so if there's other things that we feel like should go up there, then if you go to YouTube and search Century 21 Everest Training,
Okay.
it'll bring up our channel, and then there's different playlists. So there's a playlist for Summit, there's a playlist for Morning Ascent, a playlist for coaching calls, a playlist for the peak agent stuff. So like this class we're doing right now, as soon as we're done, I will upload it onto YouTube and it'll be under the peak agent training playlist on Century 21 Everest Training. So yeah, good question.
So share the Century 21 training,
So go Century 21 Everest.
Oh.
Make sure you say Everest.
Everest training.
So Century 21 Everest Training. It'll on YouTube, and it'll bring up our channel.
Okay.
Okay, so within the learning library here, there are just different classes and things that are available. So here's what I recommend. If you're looking for a specific class, so if you ever feel like, I wish we had a class on, let's say, negotiation, come into Century 21 Everest, or sorry, now I'm on the Century 21 University, come to here, you can go to search here, and if you started to just type in negotiation, then, well, it looks like, you gotta spell it right, but if you just start to type it in, then there is a virtual class, the 7 negotiation skills that will change your business. So just know, if you feel like I want to learn X, whatever it is, something about Century 21 or just sales, come into here and start to type in that skill, and it should pop up a class that.
So if I do list presentation.
Let's see. Well, here's the on listing presentation. I would say go to our YouTube channel and do ours, because ours is better than this.
Oh.
But just typing in listing here, you can see there is a listing presentation starter kit, pre-listing packet, turn one listing into 4. Like there's different things out there.
So I got some clients that I'm trying to stay in solid communication with. It's a listing that I have.
Yep.
And, you know, they're kind of annoyed that I haven't sold their house yet in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So,
Welcome to the new real estate
Yeah.
market.
so what could I be sending them to keep them smiley and happy?
Perfect. I'll show you that. Let me see where we're at in
Hopefully I didn't jump the gun in your presentation.
little bit, but let me see where we're at, because we're probably so down here in where's it at? Golden Ruler.
Just need, yeah, that's what Rick was talking.
Yeah, so this is the one which we'll get to this pretty quickly. I don't think we're gonna hit on a ton of other things here before we get to
No,
that.
you're good, you're good.
But yeah, we're gonna cover.
Cool. Yeah,
So-
need a drip to keep them smiling.
Yeah, and I'll show you how to do it when we get to that, so. Okay, next one, I'm gonna scroll down is discounts and perks. I'm not gonna go into this one, I'm not gonna click on it, but just know that there are discounts and perks, well, let's do it. There are discounts and perks that are available for you and your clients. So because of being with Century 21. So as I come in here, and so I just clicked on that discounts and perks, and then down here, there are things that are available for our office, for our customer, and for your listings. So just if you were wanting to see like what kind of discounts are for our customers, I could come here, click on this. And then here's the different things that you could tell your clients. So we can get a discount on budget truck rentals, hotels, car rentals, budget pods that they could, store stuff in, get 10% off. Just all those kinds of different things that are available. So just know there are discounts and perks that are available to you that you can get. Okay. This events website's just going to talk about events and things that are going on with Century 21. I'm going to skip down. Leads engine. I'm going to explain what these two are, leads engine and lead router. You're not going to need to do anything with them, but I think it's helpful for you to know what they are. So for the last probably 10 years, the way that if somebody went on to Century 21's website and saw a property and they were interested in it, and let's just say it was my listing, if they said they were interested, they wanted to see the property, then this lead router system would have called me up. So I would have gotten a phone call from lead router saying, you have a new lead on this particular property, whatever. Well, they're going to do away with that system. Can't remember the term they use for that now, but it's going away basically. And it's been replaced now with leads engine. So the leads engine is the new system that will be used for that. So if you ever get a call that's an automated saying you've got a new lead, it's probably through the leads engine that it's called. Okay. Now, the reason I say you don't need to know much beyond that is when that lead comes in, it will drop into the Moxie Engage system for you, which is where you would go to then actually access the lead. But the back end that's actually taking care of the phone call is called leads engine. Okay. All right, I'm going to skip down through a bunch of these here. So Moxie. So the Moxie Engage is a system that, so this is now replacing a bunch of other tools. So I mentioned to you that Business Builder's going away. That's because it's being replaced by Moxie Engage, which we already have available and we're starting to use. So Moxie Engage is is a CRM. It's a place for you to keep track of your clients and all that. And we've got a total separate class that we will do. And with I want to say I did it 2 weeks ago. Remember, but I did it fairly recent, and we'll do it periodically where I'll teach you more of the basics of that. But again, if you're wanting to access it before then, that's where you could go to Century 21 Evers training on YouTube, go to the playlist for peak agent training, and you could go find where I did a training on Moxie Engage if you want it before we do that sooner. Okay. Moxie Impress is going to be where we will have flyers and stuff, which we don't have a fully built out yet on Moxie Impress. Our marketing department is working on that. But at this moment though, as soon as you take a listing, you'll get an email with basically marketing collateral that gets created for you. And that all gets created through Moxie Impress. So that's where you would go to access any of that. Okay. And then Moxie Present is a CMA tool and also listing presentation information. So I had an agent yesterday come to my office and say, where do I get a listing presentation? Meaning something that it could hand to the client. And Moxie Present is where you would go for that. And what I will tell you is it is very, very simple. Like it is very user friendly of how you you click on it. Well, here, I'll just show you. We're not gonna actually do one. But if I go into Moxie Present here, it's very user friendly in terms of it steps you through the whole process of creating one. So once you click on that Moxie Present, it's going to bring you to here. And then you would click on Present, which is right here, which is now going to put me into the Moxie Present system. And then to create a CMA, you're just going to click Create New. You're going to choose, is it a seller? Is it a property review or buyer tour or a buyer? Which, so in this case, we'll say seller. I would do continue. And then if you click on this templates that are available, the Century 21, here's all the different templates that are available for you. So let's just say I wanted this listing presentation one. I just click that, continue, put in the name of it, hit create. And it takes a minute and then it'll start spinning here in a second. And then from here, I would either put in an old MLS number if I had one, or I can put in the address of the property, put in all the information about the property, and then it just steps me through. I would do a search for comparable properties right here. So using these filters, I can go through and sort the properties that I want to use. Then I would choose the ones that I'm going to use, put in an estimate of the price. And then here are all the pages that are available to you. So you can see it's got this page that it's going to have there. The property summary would go in here, which I haven't filled out. Location map would show the properties there, an overview. And as I scroll down, here's kind of the my promise to you that you would have, that you could print out for them. Just, so you can go through all these and just decide which ones you want to use. If you don't like it, you just come through here and click this X and we'll take it out. I'm all ears. You just click on it. It's going to load it. So looks really nice. You can see you just print this and bind it or send it up here as an email to the person. So anyway, that's the Moxie Present. Very simple to create a CMA. All right. The other things that through Moxie that are available on here is the Moxie website. So this Moxie talent would be for managers but I don't think you'll have access to it anymore. Moxie websites, you have a website that is tied to your Moxie system. So you can use that to, you don't have to go buy a website, is what I'm saying. Through Moxie websites, it's already there, it's already created for you. You can go fine tune it and customize it, but that's available already. And then there also is a MyC21 website that you could use, but I would say don't use the MyC21 site, just use the Moxie websites. So, but it is available if you want it. All right.
You can generate leads in the Moxie website.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. So, I mean, what you would have to do in order to do that though, is, which is probably a whole separate thing to talk about from here. So yes, what you would have to do though is you would have to go set up some Google AdWords or whatever to drive people to your site. It's not something that where through just the Moxie websites that you're going to go.
Right, so you need to pay to generate.
Yeah.
The advertisement.
Yep. All right, this my listings would be where you could go to look at your listings, but the next one, this one's one I want to talk about for a second.
So
Oh, go ahead, Liz.
just a quick question with my listing. I have a listing right now, and it has the unique property, but it was done to a team, and right now I'm not in the team. I wonder if I can change it.
Change the website.
No, the website, change the presentation, because right the way I saw it is my team, everything, and it just has my phone number. But right now that I'm not with the team, I'm released.
Oh, yeah. When did that happen?
The release?
Yeah.
This week.
Okay. I would say check it probably, well, I was going to say Monday, but since it's a holiday, check Tuesday and it should be fixed. If not, then get with Mikkel.
Oh, okay, so,
Yeah.
okay,
my guess is it just has to run through the system that you're not on a team.
oh, okay, wonderful, thank
But
you.
if not, then we can talk to her.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, next one, preferred client club. This one actually is really cool system that is available to you to use with your past clients. Now, and it doesn't have to be clients. You could use this for just anybody in your SOI. But this preferred client club, I'm going to click on it here and open it up to show you. What it is there's 3 different options you have. There's this one you have to pay for, this piece of it, but I think it's well worth the money. So the silver is $25 a year for 2 years. Sorry, $25 for 2 years. $43 that gives you 5 years, or $58 gives you 7 years of this. And so you can see like the cost per year on this. But what it does is every person that you were to register in this preferred client club, 4 times a year, they're going to get a magazine that it gets sent to them. So if I come back here, you can see on this picture right here, this is basically what it looks like, is this at-home magazine. But you'll notice down here, it's got the agent's picture and their contact information. So if you sign up on this, and depending on which one you do, so either for $12.50 a year, $8.60 a year, or $8.29 a year for 7 years, it will then send to anybody that you put on this. And that's per person, the $8.29 a year, not one time. But that'll give them 4 magazines every year that shows up with your information on it. Okay. It gives them an annual calendar every year that's going to have your contact information on it. And it's going to send them 2 greeting cards every year with a personal note from you on it. So to me, for what you get out of that, a magazine 4 times a year, a calendar, and 2 greeting cards for $8.29 per person. So even if you didn't put all of your SOI, just every time you sell somebody a house, come into here and put them on to this plan. So the process would be, you just, from back here, you're going to click on this preferred client club. It's going to bring you into here. You're just going to choose the plan. So let's say I wanted this 7-year plan. Then I'm just going to put in my client's information and then go through and pay for it, basically. So anyway, that one's one I think is one to be familiar with. I feel like the value that you get for that is pretty good. This magazine that shows up that's got your information on. Okay. All right. PR Studio, it would be used just to promote yourself. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. You can go play with it. The Quality Service Awards dashboard. So Quality Service Awards. So we've got, let me see, I think these ones, I don't know what these awards are. Anyway, basically every year, Century 21 gives out awards. And one of, in my opinion, and I'll tell you why it's my opinion, but one of the coolest awards that people get, which being the top office in the world is awesome, or being the top agent, like I don't want to take away from that, but even some of those top producing agents don't end up getting this award, the Quality Service Survey Award. Very few people, in fact, if you watch in March or April, whenever we do our awards ceremony for the awards for this year, if you watch, very few people, like a handful, maybe 3 or 4 people in our whole company will end up getting a Quality Service Award. So this is where you would go to just kind of get a report of how you are doing on that. Okay, and that's tied to then this Real Satisfied, this QSS here. So we're going to talk, I'm not going to go into the quality service, but I'm going to go into this Real Satisfied. So Real Satisfied, what it is every time you close on a property, the company is going to send a survey to that client and ask them to rank you as how you did. Okay. And so they're going to give you 5 stars or whatever it is, how they do it. And then based on that, the way you earn the award is you have to have gotten a minimum. Now, this is possible that they've changed, but how it's been for years, you have to have received a minimum of 8 surveys being completed on you. So you've had to have at least 8 closings that all 8 of them filled out the survey, and that you got the top ratings on 80% of those comments.
Are these results public?
They can be.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Well,
so that's what we're gonna talk about right here, is for you to decide.
So
So,
right now with this market, he talks as an unhappy client.
right,
I might be facing one too. So with
Right.
this market, I don't know how many.
Nobody's happy in this.
Yeah, in this market, how
And
many?
they think it's my fault.
that's, I think it is too, isn't it?
I don't control the rates.
I've been telling everybody, it's Ben's fault the market's like this.
Yeah.
No, okay, so yeah, so it doesn't have to be public, but it can, okay, so if you want it to be, now here's the good news.
Oh, I see the syndication.
That's right, and you get to approve it before it goes out, so when it comes in, you can either go, nope, don't post that one, or yes, that one. But I will give you some tricks on how to get this award, and not many people follow through and do this, but
Can I fill out the surveys for myself? Is that the trick?
I have had one agent do that. This was with a different company, but she would do that. She would get it, because it used to be that it was a survey that would like, they would fill it out in person kind of thing. Now they get an email that they do. But I didn't know an agent that did that. So, but let me tell you what, when it went from then online, what she started doing was this: at your closing, or maybe even a day or two before the closing, just say to your client, is there any, you're gonna get a survey that you get to fill out on. Is there any reason you wouldn't give me the top marks? Like, give me the highest rating. And if they say yes, then go remove their email from the system. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. But it just say to them, is there any reason? And if they say yes, and there is a reason, then say, well, what can I do to fix it? How could I get you to change your mind on that or whatever? But this agent that would get this award every single year, that quality service award, I finally just wanted to ask her, and she said, I always at closing tell them, you're gonna get this survey. When you fill it out, is there any reason you wouldn't give me the top? Now, let me tell you why I think that's such a good idea. And I don't remember when this was, but a car that I bought at one point, at the end of the transaction of me buying the car, the salesperson said to me, is there any reason you would give me the highest marks on it if we sent you a survey? And I said, no, probably not. And he said, okay, well, here's why it helps me. And then just told me, you know, we get an award based on it. Now, I'm typically the type of person that if you ask me, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, where am I at? Even if I thought you were amazing, I probably would be like, 9. Well, and just because my thinking is, I don't know what you could have done better, but I'm sure there was something. Like, I don't know what it was, but I'm sure there was something. But here's my point. I think there are a lot of people that way. And so because of that, though, when this car sales guy said to me, is there any reason you wouldn't give me the very highest? And I said, no. And he said, okay, when it comes, the survey, will you please make sure to put the highest that, you know, you were fully satisfied? And I said, yeah, I'll do that. When the survey came, I then did put when I typically wouldn't have done that, I went and said, yes. Now, let me give you.
Asking a different way.
That's right. And then one other example of that. So one of the places my wife and I tend to go to dinner often is Chili's. And one day the server came around when they first kind of had those little Xeos machines that are just at your table. The server came around and said, okay, you just pay on that, but it's going to have you fill out a survey. And she said, the only question I care about is question number 2. Is question number 2 that comes up. Is there any reason you couldn't give me, again, she just said that same thing. Any reason, is there anything I could have done differently or whatever that would have me get a highest mark there? And she said, the reason is the way they give out our shifts is based on how high. The people who give the best service get the best shifts. And I want to make sure I get the best shifts. So can you, and I was like, yeah, for sure. At the same thing, typically on that, I would have, you know, I think it was like a 4 or 5 different options. I usually probably would have done the one just below, just because I always feel like, well, you could have done something better. I don't know what, but
I don't know what.
yeah. So you guys are going to get a survey at the end of this class of how I did. Is there any? No, I'm just kidding. All right. So, but what I found is if you'll do that with them, they'll tend to give you the highest marks, or at least give you the option to fix that. So from within here is where you're going to manage that. Okay. So when you go again, I'm under the preferred client or real satisfied, which is not the preferred client club. Sorry. Real satisfied, which is the survey that gets sent out. So once you're in here, that you can change your profile, have your pictures, settings, password, all that. I would recommend for you guys to come in here and click on this and watch this video that they have that will walk you through. It's a 5-minute video. It'll take you through basically what we're talking about right now in a little more detail than I'm doing right now. But one of the things that you're going to do then is decide where you want the syndication. Do you want it on or off, to go into realtor.com, Facebook, Twitter, those type of things. But then down here is where you're going to be able to see what's happened on. So for example, last year I helped this guy buy a condo for one of his kids at school. And you can see here that it sent the survey, but he never filled it out. So in this scenario, if I'm trying to get that award, I would want to call him up today and say, hey, Mark, I'm about to send to you the survey again. Is there, any reason you wouldn't be able to give me the highest marks? No? Okay, good. Then I'm going to send you the survey, check your junk mail, and then boom, I would hit send and say it should be there right now. Like you might have to be that detailed if you want to get that award. This one here, you can see he had completed it. So if I click on it, it'll bring it up and show he was a buyer. Here's the property he bought. If I want to see the report or the summary report, I can say thanks. So if I click on this say thanks, it takes me to where I could send them a Starbucks gift card. So that's another option. So you can tell them, hey, if you give me, so here's how you do it, Ben. Your client is frustrated. Want a $5 gift card to Starbucks? Yeah, just need you to fill out this survey. Give me the, yeah, there you go. All right. So that's the real satisfied. But this is where you could go. So like this one here, I helped this guy, I helped him sell his mom's house. She had passed away. But for some reason, we didn't have his email address. So he never filled out the survey. But so you can see from here, I could come down into here and put in his email address and then send him the survey. Okay. And then you can see another one's completed. These ones that were sent but never filled out. So you can kind of just see, like if you don't do anything, there's a pretty good chance they just aren't going to fill it out. So
how do I keep them happy? Is there flyers and stuff I can send them?
no, get their house sold.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm going to show you. We're going to get to the how do you keep them happy. Okay. This RE scoreboard you're never going to use. This would be part of if you took a class on Century 21 University, like they have, I didn't say this on Century 21 University, they have live classes that you could participate in. And some of those are like you meet weekly and then they have you keep track of like contacts and appointments. You could do that here on this RE scoreboard. Sales associate business planning tool. You can go in and set up your business plan, but we have our own, so don't worry about that. Social ad engine. This one, if you're wanting to do some marketing through social media, you can do it through here. So there's a cost to it, but they'll help you do social media marketing.
Is it like that management fee?
Yeah.
So percentage of campaign budget?
I think so. I think that is how it works.
Yeah.
All right. And now the one you've been waiting for, golden ruler. Here we go. All right.
So
Go ahead.
the toolkit CMA.
Going away.
Or is going.
It's going away at the end of the year, but
Okay.
we're not there yet.
All right.
All right, so golden ruler. I was gonna say, you can't skip Ben's. You gotta do Ben's. All right, golden ruler. Here we go. So click on that. This one actually is awesome for exactly what Ben was talking about. This tool will be so helpful for having your clients hopefully not be frustrated with you, or at least less frustrated because of what it does for them. So what's going to happen is the golden ruler keeps track of the number of views that they're getting on their property. And then you can set this up to send them an email to send them a report of this, and you can set it up somewhat. They have some flexibility with it. My recommendation is set it up to go to them weekly. If you will have it set up to going weekly to them, then it'll make them at least feel like you're doing something. But so this is just the dashboard.
Exactly what we need to make.
Yep. So this is the dashboard, which this is just going to show. And for me, because I'm an administrator, you can see it's showing all offices here. But here are the number of views that we're getting on our properties in the last 30 days. So on our properties on Zillow in the last 30 days, we've had 265,000 views. This is just overall everything, right? So, but from here, if I click on listings, then this is gonna bring up the actual listing. So what's the address of the property? Let's see if we, I don't know if it'll let me set it up, but let's try it.
I think it's 4194. Yeah, Shade Crest Lane.
Okay, so you can see on this, it shows that it's active right here. I can view the online analysis, so let's just click on that real quick.
You want my client's email too?
Yeah, wait, probably, but let's see, well, not yet, until we get there. Okay, so you can see there's been 1,020 views that they've had on their property.
Is that a big number or small number?
I'll show you, there's a spot that it does kind of a comparison to other properties similar to theirs kind of a thing, so you can see. But, oh yeah, right here. So here's the views and here's the average views for a similar home. So on this, on Zillow, they've gotten 557 views on Zillow versus the similar homes to theirs have gotten 456. So like, to some extent, what you want to be able to show them is like, look, like this is where you can say, I'm getting you more views than other people with a similar house.
Great, then screenshot this chart.
We don't have to screenshot. We're gonna say
If I don't get this canceled, I make 25. If it cancels, I get nothing.
yeah, okay,
So,
we'll get it. So this one just shows how many they've had on Realtor.com, on the MLS, 218 versus 217. So that one's not as good, but Zillow shows quite a, you know, they've gotten 100 more views than.
perfect.
And
Yeah,
then
see, I'm busting my ass.
the what? There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll go, everybody's gonna go on and check it out. So here's the cool thing though, is look at this, and this is gonna be a pretty normal thing of what you're gonna see. And so this is good to use with clients to show this red line here is the Zillow views. And notice the first little while is where they got the most views, and then it's kind of just now down into here, which, okay, fine.
Is that typically how it goes?
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
Okay.
This is the heat map. So this is kind of cool because this shows like where are the views coming from. And if I zoom in here more on it, you can see. Like you're getting obviously a lot along the Wasatch Front, which makes sense, but look at, you've gotten quite a few actually from down in Phoenix, Arizona as well, which is kind of interesting, and some over here from LA too. A little bit over here, but
There was one in the Philippines.
was there?
Well, it was kind of highlighted. I don't know.
Yeah, it's my title.
Oh, you know why? Yes.
Um,
Yes, here's why, is because we have virtual assistants that make a lot of the, that are constantly in our system, so yeah, we're gonna always have a pretty decent viewings in the Philippines because of where our virtual assistants for the company are located, so. Anyway, that's kind of cool to be able to see. Down here, you can see, again, last 30 days, here's some similar homes and the views.
Ah, shoot. No, there's literally like 3 homes within a block of mine. We're all in a price war.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we all just keep reducing. It's a
Okay.
race to the bottom.
Here's the number of inquiries, which there's none, so you don't want to show them that. But anyway, all right, so that's,
What question?
yes.
You pick and choose what you're going to send, or he can scroll the same way you are scrolling and he's going to see everything.
So I'll show you. Yeah, actually, what we're gonna do, so down here is the seller report. So this is where I would go, and I could have done it actually from back here on this too. So I can schedule delivery of the seller report or view it here, okay? So let's, I don't know if it'll let me set it up, but, oh, it's got your client's email right here. Is that right?
Yeah,
Cool. Do you want to BCC it? Do you want a copy of it?
yeah.
I think I was gonna say, I think it's a good idea for you to get a copy of it. So we'll do a blind copy. Oh, no. Yeah, no, it's there. Okay, Ben, is it just this email?
Yeah,
So let me just copy. That way, when it gets sent out to them, you'll get a copy as well. Oh, I already had it on CC agent anyway, so.
perfect.
All right, so the subject that it's gonna send to them is sales activity on your property. Dear Matthew, here's what it's gonna say. So if you want to change anything there on what that says, this is what the email is gonna say.
Yeah, don't contact me if you have any questions.
Okay.
No, you're fine. You're good.
Don't, I'm just kidding. Okay, so now, do we want to include metrics from competing brokers or not? The default is to not include them. I only would say it's probably better to do if you know for sure it's gonna be better, then you wanna include them.
Well, no.
If you're not sure, then.
The neighbor just sold their house, so no, that's.
Okay.
That's a waste.
And then this one is include metrics only when the listing has blank number of leads. So right now you have no leads, which by the way, that's pretty normal. Like we don't, my recommendation on this is either only include the metrics if you've got like more. When you've got 5 or more leads, I would either do that or
Yeah,
just do never include lead metrics.
yeah, never included.
That's my usually recommendation, because again, what you don't want to do is have, but to some extent. Is you want to be able to say, look at all the views we're getting. If the
Yeah.
people are seeing the property and they're not coming, like, I would put it to the client this way, because is your client moving to a different house?
Yeah, they bought another house.
Okay, did they look online first?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would ask them, what did you do if you got to a property that you didn't like? Did you request information on it?
No,
Okay, and why did you not, what was it you didn't like about the property?
it's always, I don't know, it just wasn't the right, you know what, it's
Okay.
it's a feeling or an
Okay.
idea, it's not like.
Okay, so I would say to them, typically though, it's something to do with either you didn't like the layout of the house, you didn't like the condition, or you didn't like the price.
Yeah,
Well, if nobody clicks on that they want to see yours, it's probably one of the same things.
yeah,
It's either the price is too high, there's other, what,
could be the ceiling on blue they painted the kitchen, but
it could be. Okay, so how often do you want it to go to them? Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly,
how much
or
the numbers change bi-weekly?
I would do it weekly.
Okay.
So I'm asking you yet, I'm like, do it weekly.
Okay,
Now, the question is, do you want me to first do a send immediate?
yeah.
Okay, so let's do that so that it's gonna, so I've got the send weekly, but also, so. I'm gonna do this, and so it's gonna send them an email from you right now giving you information, and it should come to you too, if it'll let me. It might not let me because. And you might have to log in and do it.
Just click it or keep clicking it. So,
My only concern to keep clicking it is it gonna send it like 5 times to them?
Oh,
there you go,
Yeah, so it might.
we got it.
Okay, so yeah, so now what you'll notice here is we've got either the options now, it went from this green to I can either modify the delivery of it or I could stop it from here. Okay?
No, we're good.
But, and here would be to view to see. So this is what it just sent to them.
Yeah, email looks great.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah,
cool. All right, let's take it too long. But so here's basically what it's gonna say. Here's your online activity. It gives a breakdown. So it's kind of, here's the top 10 websites. Here's the top 10 cities. They can click this view more stats. Now, if we had included the leads, it would have also had a column here for the number of leads and where they came from. But like I said, for me, especially on this one where we already looked at it and it was 0, though we don't really want it to say, oh, look how many leads we've gotten on your property. 0. But like I say, if you set it up properly with the client, that could be okay, but I'm still more of a just don't. So if they click view more stats, it'll then take them to where this online analytics that we looked at. All right, so they're set up. You're good to go. Now you don't have to worry. Now they love you.
I hope so.
All right, next one is Toolkit CMA, which I'm not going to talk about because it's going away. So anything you would have done on Toolkit CMA will be now Moxie Present. Okay. The last one that we're going to really talk about is this unique property websites. Now, I don't have a listing. I wish I did. Oh, let me see. Somebody's got a chat. Oh, just there. No. Okay. Oh, there's some showing up. Good. So I don't know why this happens, but as an administrator, I used to be able to see everything, and then it went to where I couldn't see anything, and now apparently I can see a couple. So one of the things, every time you list a property, so this would be another thing I would say to do with this client, is anytime you list a property, we're going to create a unique property website for that house. Okay. And so you would come into here, and so for well, it's a mobile info. But on this one here, I can do this edit site here. And would you like to keep this? Yeah, just all right. From here, I could come in and do some edits on the website settings. I could, if I wanted to change the domain name, I can do any of that kind of stuff. Here's a learning center that I would recommend. Come in and spend a little bit of time going through this. But let me click on domain. Let's see. Yeah, so here's, so the domain name is almost always gonna be just the address of the property .c21.com. So I'm gonna just pull up this one here. Move this up. Okay. So I put in that .c21.com. And then if you click on it, it's gonna bring up, so this is what the website's gonna look like. So here's what I would recommend. So for now, this client, I would just say, hey, we want to get as much exposure as we can. I'm going to send you a link to the website that I've created for your property. Will you go on to all your social media accounts and share the website? Because then that's going to drive, they're going to share it to all of their friends on social media, which should then drive them to the site, which is also going to help increase your number of views. So you're going to get a profit too. But so from here, you would be able to see, okay, here's this listing. So I can go, so somebody that's on here could go get it from here. They can click on this to see a gallery of the photos. You can go to a video, which, so if I click on the video, I don't know.
Looking for the home of your dreams?
This cozy property offers over 700 square feet of living space, featuring 2 bedrooms.
So this,
With
like
one
every
full
single property
bathroom.
that. People on Zoom probably didn't hear this.
This property is currently listed for under $70,000.
Okay, so but notice, like every single property that we list creates a YouTube video with the photos and somebody talking through it, every single one, okay? So from here, you can do a map, they can request a showing, you can find finance, and you can even do print flyer. And it's gonna bring up and create a flyer for you just like that. So there's a flyer you can now go out and use that quick. Okay. All right. That's the unique property websites. And like I said, you can go back under this design and you could make changes and stuff. But for the most part, you really don't need to do anything that way. But you do have the option, and I can't remember where it's at now. I'm not seeing it. That you could have it switch to do it in Spanish too, if you wanted. I think it's under video settings. Let me see.
So that unique property can be done in Spanish too, is that what you're saying?
The video.
The video.
Yeah.
Wow, see?
Oh, you can change the voice.
And yeah, you can change the voice. So if you,
The
so
background.
this is the music that's playing. If you wanted this one instead,
Dang.
you can change that. Change the voice to a woman.
Hello, my name is Amanda, and this is
So
That's-
you don't like that one?
Sound like a
How
robot.
about you?
Hello, my name is Amy, and this is a sample of my voice.
So,
I like Amy. Amy sounds good looking.
I can't remember where you change it to Spanish, but there is somewhere that you can do it in Spanish.
Really? Serious?
Yeah, right here, create Spanish video.
What?
So I can do that, or you can do it unbranded if you want, but the create a Spanish video, click on it, then bam, you've got it to where you can put it out that way as well. All right. And then Zap is going away at the end of the year, so I'm not going to talk to you about that anymore either. So anyway, those are the tools. Do you feel a little more informed as to what's available and?
Nope.
Yeah.
I just walked in.
All right, any questions from anybody on Zoom on any of that?
Too bad if you did.
What's what?
Too bad if they did.